Welcome back to Colorado and Company. You know, one of our favorite parts of fall, carving pumpkins. It's believed the custom making of jack-o'-lanterns at Halloween began in Ireland in the 19th century to ward off evil spirits. No evil spirits here today. We got the best, just master pumpkin carver Barry Brown to show us some tips and tricks. Nice to have you back on the show.
Thanks, Denise. It's fun to be here.
You are the best I've ever seen at carving pumpkins.
Thank you.
What does it mean to be a master pumpkin carver?
Well, they say you become a master when you've achieved 10,000 hours of a thing.
Have you done that many
I think
hours?
I've spent a lot of hours carving pumpkins. Like this pumpkin, I took 40 hours to carve that pumpkin.
Wow, that's beautiful.
Thanks.
Gosh, how long have you been carving pumpkins?
Well, I started when I was a kid, but then when I moved to Denver, I saw this carving kit in the grocery store, and it had this contest I was telling you about earlier.
Yeah.
And I won the contest, and I realized these people were in Denver, Colorado. So that was in 1989.
You were like the best of the best. What kind of tools do you need to carve a pumpkin?
Well, these are the really awesome tools. These are Grandpa Bardeen old-fashioned pumpkin carving tools. So these are the ones that are made in the USA. They've got a Teflon coating, they've got this great handle, and these are the exclusive ones that I use at my carving parties now.
Well, how can we get those?
Online.
Online. Okay, we're going to do that. Show me how to get started. I see you have something taped there, too.
Right, so that's the pattern part.
Okay.
What you want to do first is carve the bottom.
The bottom.
I like to open it up from the bottom because then you have one piece of pumpkin. You don't have anything falling in or shrinking or messing things up.
That makes sense. Most of the time people do it from the top.
Yep, but then you have a full canvas to put your pattern on. So what I also do on the bottom is I cut it in half because taking that whole piece out is a challenge. So I cut it in half and then I take the other piece out, and that just works really well. The other tool that is so cool, I love this, John, the guy that I used to work with here in Denver, he invented this carving tool. Scoop.
Scoop. Wow.
And so you can hold it in your hand and you get it all the way inside.
Oh, show it to the camera over there, yeah.
All right.
How cool is that?
You can get all the way inside, and I can scoop out a pumpkin in about 2 minutes, and it just all comes out. There's no stringy weirdness. It just all flops out.
Wow, that is really cool.
The other thing that's really cool about this scoop thing is that you can thin out the part where you're carving, where the pattern is. If a kid is carving, you want to thin it down, because pumpkins can be kind of thick, you know? But if you thin that down, then a kid can be more successful when they're carving.
Yeah, you've made this so much easier for a family to do it together. Where can we find patterns? I see you have a really cool one.
Right. Well, this pattern came from a piece called a papel picado, which is from Dia de los Muertos. That's the celebration that happens on November 1st and 2nd in Mexico.
Day of the Dead.
Yep.
Okay.
So the tissue paper banners that they hang in the ceiling, that's what this pattern is from. And this is one of my patterns called Cockfight. So the idea is that we're not afraid of death. And so skeletons do all kinds of things that we do, and they play with their animals and stuff like that. This is sort of my political commentary, that there's one rooster fighting the other rooster. So that's the idea.
It's important to find a pattern first, right?
Yeah, because then you can go out and find the pumpkin that matches that pattern.
Okay. So what's next?
Well, then you want to transfer your pattern, and I use this little tool that I got at Meininger's. It's an art store in town. It's called a Pounce Wheel, like a little spur on a cowboy boot. And as you go along the pattern lines, it makes these little indentations so that you can follow along when you're carving. It's sort of like carving dot to dot.
Gotcha.
Now, this isn't the pattern that I put on the pumpkin. I have a special pattern just for you, Denise. It's your initial. And I've done a lot of carving on it. But if you can see...
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah?
That is awesome.
So you can put that on your porch. And what I love with carving is to make it personal. Yeah. So to have your name on it, or your kid's face on it, or your dog's face on it, or something that's personal to you, that makes it a lot of fun.
Oh, you are so fun, and you're so creative. Don't go anywhere, because I want to talk more and get more tips.
Good.
We've only just begun. We're going to find out more on how you can get included with the kiddos, too, the entire family. We're going to continue carving. We'll be right back with Barry Brown. 2 and 2. Stay with us here on Colorado and Company. Hi there, welcome back to Colorado and Company. We are back with Master Carver, Pumpkin Carver, Barry Brown.
I'm going to teach you how to do it.
It's my turn. Okay.
So the important thing is when you're carving to have the part that you're carving straight up at the top of the pumpkin like the North Pole. Okay. And then you're going to carefully insert your saw and then just saw straight up and down like a sewing machine.
Very nice. I can't really mess it up here. Okay, as I finish doing this, I'm going to try anyway. Tell me where the folks at home can actually meet with you and get some pumpkin carving tips.
Well, tonight I'm doing a carving party at the Lakewood Cultural Center, so that's going to be fun. And then Saturday is Bronco Bunch. out at the stadium.
Fun.
So the kids that are in the exclusive club, the Broncos bunch, they get to come out and trick or treat and meet Miles. And I'm going to have a bunch of my Dia de los Muertos carvings there.
Fun.
So that'll be fun. And then next week we're going to do the Botanic Gardens. It's a carving and cocktails party for adults. Oh. That'll be good. I'll be at the Tagawa Gardens.
Is there a website that we can go to learn more about you?
If you want to go to barrybrowncreative.com.
Okay.
My calendar is on there. And there's lots of other pictures and other fun things to see.
Does size really matter when it comes to pumpkins? This is a pretty good sized pumpkin.
Right. Well, I think it's convenient to have a pumpkin that fits in my lap because that's how I like to carve. I can control the pumpkin. And if you're carving with kids, you can put the pumpkin in your lap,
right,
and it doesn't roll around for the kids.
Safer.
And even they can saw like this together, and you can kind of get that feel. See how that straight up and down thing
that's
works?
much easier
right?
than what I was doing. Okay.
And then part of what happens, see, like your impulse is to push it in.
Uh-huh.
No bueno.
That's no bueno.
You want to take it out.
Oh.
See? Because if you push it in, sometimes the inside is small and the outside is big. So you want to kind of wiggle it a little bit, and then you bring it out instead of in.
Very
see, sometimes
interesting.
it breaks, and you don't want the beautiful carving to break.
No. Now, what about cleaning it out from the inside? Before I stick my hand in there, what's the tips to do that? You showed me that scooper.
Well, that's with the scoop.
But if we can't get a scooper like that, do we just pick up, the ones that are in the grocery store? Can you just use your own hand and pull it out?
Well, I tell you, that scoop is golden.
It is.
You really want to use that. So if you can't get it, I don't know what to say. If you use a spoon, but you hold the bowl of the spoon in your hand so you really get that scrape. Because you're really scraping into the flesh of the pumpkin.
Gotcha. Now, since we're carving pretty early, I mean, we still have, a couple weeks until Halloween. How do we make our pumpkins last all the way?
Well, you want to treat it like a sandwich. A lot of people say, I want to make my pumpkin last. I'm like, well, where is it? Well, it's on my front porch all night long, all week long. I'm like, what would you do with a sandwich? So you want to cover it with plastic and put it in the refrigerator or at least somewhere cool.
Okay.
A lot of people say, how do you keep the squirrels off? Here's my #1 master tip about keeping squirrels off your pumpkin. Squirrels live, there's the camera, squirrels live outside. So if you place your pumpkin inside where you can enjoy it.
Yeah, the squirrels won't get it.
And then you illuminate it just for the time that you enjoy it. Then put it in the fridge. A couple years ago, I carved a pumpkin for Kyle Dyer here at Channel 9.
Yeah.
But she wasn't on the show the morning I was there. So I put it in the fridge with plastic wrap. And then the next week I was on another program and I brought it to her. It was just fresh like I had just carved it.
You don't have to put water on it or anything, just saran wrap or something. Okay, very interesting. You've carved so many different pumpkins, and I know we have a few here on set. They're absolutely gorgeous.
Thanks. I really like that Dia de los Muertos style because it's very lacy, but also my Superman series. You can see that series at the Wizard's Chest just south of 6th on Broadway. That's displayed. Wow. And here is Union Station. I have this tree that the Denver Center let me use, and I hung it with 30 carved pumpkins.
That is amazing. Where do you get your inspiration?
I love architectural designs. I love Dia de los Muertos. I love doing portraits. Like I said, things that matter to other people.
Yeah, he did an amazing portrait of me one time. I loved it. And remember that one pumpkin you made of Sarah Jessica Parker for Sex and the City?
My girlfriend.
Your girlfriend.
I call her Serica. We're like this.
It was. If Serica ever saw that, she would be blown away.
It was fun with all the hair.
Oh,
it was great.
Beautiful. Well, thank you. You're so talented.
Well, thanks.
You really are. Thanks for giving us a sneak peek.
You bet.
I appreciate it. Okay, so if you want more information, join Barry at several events this month for carving demonstrations. This Saturday in North Glen at the Rec Center, or for members only, the Broncos Kid Brunch Trick or Treat event. Then on Sunday night, head to the Denver Botanic Gardens for pumpkin carving and a cocktail party. For a complete look at all the events, you can check out his calendar on his website. It's barrybrowncreative.com. That's barrybrowncreative.com. Reach out. Maybe he can come to a party. Wouldn't that be fun? He could do lessons. All right.